Hello and welcome to another edition of Sit Down with the Director. I'm Robin Phillips and I'm here today with Bobby Cox on a guest appearance, I suppose, at Morrison Elementary School.
All right.
We are here for a very special occasion, and we also wanted to let you know ahead of time that we are here during archery practice. So if you hear some pops in the background, that's what that is. So we wanted to let you know about that. So, Mr. Cox, could you tell us a little bit about what's behind us here?
Well, we're here tonight for our board meeting, and we wanted to recognize several students, but especially wanted to recognize the Morrison boys basketball team for their exploits on the court and finishing second in the James C. Hale State Tournament. So we thought this would be an appropriate place to film and hold our board meeting tonight.
Great, wonderful. Well, it looks like that they're need to be well celebrated.
Yes, they've done very well over the last few years, and especially this year.
Okay, great. And another thing that's been going on besides that since we last met was all the snow that we've been having and all the weather issues we've been having. I think at this point we are at 12 days?
We have one, well, we're actually at 9 days of inclement weather. We have 1 day left. And it looks like we're filming on Tuesday, looks like Wednesday night we may get some more, and Thursday and Friday, who knows, it could be another couple of days out, but hopefully it'll miss us this time.
Okay, great. Well, and we all, I think, are ready for that to happen and for spring to come on.
Ready for some normalcy.
If by chance we do get snow again, I think the board had issued a policy regarding snow routes, bus routes, and we haven't used those yet this year, but maybe could you tell us a little bit about when that might be utilized and if and what criteria we use for selecting whether or not to use those?
Well, we've looked at those, especially this last week. We tried to really look at those a little bit more closely, but every time we get to the point where it can be maybe implemented and used, then we've got extreme cold that comes in. So we really didn't want parents and especially students walking possibly from their home to a bus route in 18-degree weather. So that's why we've decided not to use those. So the weather really hasn't cooperated very much with us all winter. If it's a time where it looks like it's snowy and the temperatures are cold, around the freezing mark, but not in the teens and wind chills in the single digits, then we definitely don't want to expose kids to the extreme weather conditions. And then if there's water on the roads and those roads refreeze, then we've got parents trying to get their kids to the bus route, snow route stop, and then that usually doesn't end well when you combine car traffic, walking traffic, and bus traffic. So so we've been trying to use those as needed, but we haven't used them yet just because the opportunity hadn't arisen yet where we could use it, we felt, safely. So.
Okay, but everyone should be aware of the snow routes and the possibility that they may still be used this year or in the future.
Oh, sure, and they're on our website. Those stops are on our website. If you go to our homepage at warrenschools.com and go down to the bottom, scroll down to the bottom of the page, then you'll see the snow route bus stops there that you can get online.
Okay, great. Well, again, thank you for sharing about that. I know we also, tonight at our board meeting, will be, the board will consider the calendar for next year, the school calendar for next year. So can you give us any kind of preview or hint as to what that might look like?
Sure. The calendar, we kind of got feedback from parents in our survey that we did before Christmas and asked them what they felt a good calendar would look like. We also took that information, built the calendar, gave it back to our schools and our teachers, and allowed them to have feedback. So the calendar, everybody pretty much agreed that we wanted to keep the calendar pretty much the same as it was. The only big difference would be the start date. We've started the first week of August this current year, 14-15, due to Memorial Day being on a different date, a week earlier. So we bumped down the start date of school to the middle part of August, and we can still get out before Memorial Day. So basically the same. We'd still have a fall break in October, spring break in March, the normal holidays, along the way. And only real big difference that we had was some of the principals wanted to fluctuate when they had parent-teacher conference. So instead of having 3 days of parent-teacher conference on 3 set dates, we're going to allow the schools to determine when they want to have that parent-teacher conference, either earlier in the fall semester and maybe earlier in the spring semester, or let them determine how they want to do that, and we'll communicate that to parents when that decision is made.
Okay. Very good. So again, I guess by the time this airs, we will have an official calendar.
Well, we hope so. I think that everything seems like everything's in order to do that tonight. Yes. Okay.
So be looking out for that, and I'm sure that it'll be in the paper and
oh yeah, we'll post that on the website.
Well publicized.
Yes,
so keep that in mind for next year.
Right.
And so again, we also have a little bit more left of this year, and some of the most important. Maybe not the most important time of the year, but the time of the year that we test to see what students have learned this year. And testing has already begun in some of the schools and some of the subjects and grades. Can you tell us a little bit about the testing calendar?
Well, we've had our writing assessment that really has started the first part of February, and due to the weather has kind of prolonged that. We've had to start and stop several different times to get writing assessment in. Writing assessment is not a accountability item this year, but it does have to be given. It's all online, so students have to read 2 passages. They have to react to those passages online where they're writing, typing in their answer onto a site online. So that has started. As today at our high school, we gave the statewide ACT test. So that has begun and ended today. So hopefully we'll have a good turnout with ACT. As we continue to go on, we have a lot of our state testing that's getting ready to begin to start, giving our last formative assessments so that we can see where kids are at, prepared, or if they're prepared or not prepared for TCAP. TCAP testing will start at the end of April with everything staying the same. We will also start having our AP testing. Will go on at the high school. End of course testing will start shortly after that. K2 testing will start after that in May. So end of April and May are very heavy testing months for us, and we've built all year to get to that point, and now we're kind of to the final end of that. So. Okay.
So, and I mean, I know that's still a little ways away on some of the tests, but maybe not on all of them. Are there any things that you would recommend that parents do to help their student do their best on the test?
Right. Well, you know, looking at our formative assessments will help more than anything. A lot of times our schools go over those in class, but contacting your child's teacher and asking them to maybe send home what they really need to study for and start that process earlier. It's a lot easier to start studying now and brushing up on those skills that you really need, rather than waiting a week or 2 or 3 days before the test to do that. So starting now is something that I think would be helpful, and then continuing to do that all the way through. You know, definitely getting a lot of rest, especially the day before the test. Eating right, good nutrition will help stimulate that brain function and help. And you know, it seems like that hydration, water, and exercise, you know, also help as well. You know, kids are going to be sitting a lot. They're going to be riding a lot. They're going to be, you know, focusing on reading, so they're going to need some time to get away from that and blow off a little steam. So making sure, hopefully the weather will break where we can get some exercise, and that will help a lot as well.
Okay, great. Well, and that's a great thing to keep in mind as they get toward that testing season, so to speak, because that is a part of their grade. TCAP at least, and end of course is a part of their grade.
Right.
I guess it has been the last 2 or 3 years.
25% of their grade for the second semester grade is the score on that test. So it does have an accountability portion for the student. Very high accountability for our schools. You know, we have annual measurable objectives, AMOs, that we have to try to meet, and how those students perform on that test determines how we as a school are judged. The teachers have an accountability portion on their evaluation of that. So yeah, there's a lot of importance placed on our performance. And really that's the feedback that we get from the student, whether they've learned the material or not, and whether we've done a good job of explaining that and teaching that and helping them learn that material.
Okay, great. Well, we certainly, as always, I appreciate you coming and sitting down with us to discuss what's going on in Warren County Schools. And we will, I'm sure, let everyone know after the board meeting tonight our new calendar for next year and what else is going on next month. So
that's
until
great.
then, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you later.